people still need to buy and people still need to sell, and the market is still really good for that.
Well, and it's a good segue into this story that I saw from it was in Albuquerque Business First, and the headline was, "The Housing Market Seen Fewer Bidding Wars." So you talk about some of the stories of 2021 in the residential real estate world in Albuquerque, and one of them was bidding wars.
Right. For sure.
And so when we say bidding wars, what do we mean, Tracy?
We're talking about when a house is for sale and they get multiple offers, and people are basically, it's like an auction, right? They're bidding and putting in what they are willing to pay and what terms they're willing to buy the house under that are maybe above and beyond what's being asked for from the buyer.
Obviously price. Could be something about terms, could be the way if they're financing, or maybe they're going to pay cash, maybe they're going to waive inspections or be lax on inspections, or whatever it is, certain things to
lease
give.
Back.
Yeah, lease back, let the seller stay in the home for a little bit longer to be the offer that gets chosen out of the multitude of offers that we saw. And it's interesting because this headline says, the housing market has seen fewer bidding wars. And I've got my own opinion on this, Tracy, but I want your opinion. I mean, earlier in the summer, April, May, June, it was pretty frantic.
Earlier this year, one of my stories
was
a house that I represented personally. We have a team of realtors that work with us that help buyers and sellers, and we have, listing specialists or home selling specialists. And I listed one and put it for sale for a client, and it was crazy. It was Northeast Heights, and it was a huge opportunity, a house that it was all original. Linoleum floors, all the kitchen cabinets and counters, everything was original. The trees were overgrown. Nobody had lived there for a few years, and it had been donated to a charity, right?
Yeah.
And we had 23 offers, and significantly above list price.
So even though it needed work, it was in the right neighborhood, if you will, right?
The right bones in the right neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it ended up selling for about $95,000 over the list price, which the list price was higher than any past sales had justified. So it was also listed on the high end of the scale.
Yeah, it wasn't like, the listing price was some bare bottom number just to try to get an auction effect. It was actually
priced pretty
to market based on, what had sold in the past. But of course, earlier in the summer, things, just really heated up. And so we see this headline. I'm going to keep going back to this until I get you to answer the question.
Seen fewer bidding wars.
Yeah, housing market seen fewer bidding wars, just last week, or was it this week? Anyway, in the Business First. So what do you think is the reason that there's fewer bidding wars? And I know we've seen that here.
Oh, so that's
just on our team, in our little group, big group. We're not seeing it as quite as crazy it was earlier in the summer.
I thought your question was, are we seeing fewer bidding wars, Tracy? But you already have established a baseline that we are. Okay.
Yes.
So yes, we are seeing fewer bidding wars. We're still seeing bidding wars, but maybe not 23 offers, right? We're seeing 3 offers, 2 offers.
Why do you think that is?
I think that people think that it's not a right time to buy, that a lot of the buyers are tired and don't want to get involved in a bidding war. I think they feel like, this is my max. Like, if I can't compete, then I'm not even going to get in the game. I think people are saying, I'm going to wait for the market to shift, right? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to lead you to what I think.
Go ahead.
Earlier in the summer, when we saw, this kind of frantic activity going on, do you think that the buyers and the buyer brokers and the realtors in the market knew how to deal with this type of activity?
I think that most of them did not. I think most of them didn't know how to write an offer for the market that they were in. They were writing an offer like it was 2018, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that, since you led me there.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think
they weren't competitive offers. Of the 23, that I got on that house early on when the bidding wars were at their highest, probably 4 or 5 of them were really written very competitively. The rest I put them all on a spreadsheet, of course, for my seller, but really we were looking at maybe 4 offers to see who we're going to work with.
I think it's just like anything, Tracy. As you work through something that's going on, I mean, we could apply this to what's going on with COVID, right? As we learn, as we get more information, we evolve and we change. And that's my feeling about the whole bidding war thing, is that everybody's changed and adapted to the new normal. You're not seeing, oh, I hate that term. I know. You gave me that look. I know. It's not a, so, but in the realtor community, let's just say, if you know there's going to be multiple offers on a property, you know there's going to be high demand for this property, and your client is maybe wanting to do something that doesn't make sense in the current market conditions, there may be a little more education now than there was back then. This may not be that interesting of a topic, but I think it's we all adjust, right? And how quickly you can adjust to the current conditions is important. And I think I will say for our team, that's been great, because we do see so many transactions, and we see all these different, as we call them, experiences with people buying and selling, so we can adjust quickly. And we're doing this show every week as well, allows us to adjust quickly to see what's going on in the current market conditions. And I think
good insight, Tego.
And adapt to it. Yeah.
I think our buyer consult, so when somebody's interested in buying a house, I know there's a story we have about the steps, right? But when they're interested in buying a house, obviously getting somebody ready and preparing them for the process and how it works, and then knowing what their resources are and their tolerance for being in a bidding war, and what they're able to do. Are they able to allow some lease back time for the seller, so they know when they're moving out the house is really sold? Or maybe they need to buy a house and they need a week in between so they can get this one closed, get their funds, and move to a new house.
Right.
Can they do that? But do they have other funds they can add in? Can they waive an appraisal waiver, do an appraisal waiver and not make it contingent upon that? So all these different things in the buyer consult, but then when we're working with them, we need to make sure we're looking at the right price homes, so we leave that headroom for them. So if they need to offer over what it's listed at,
right,
that they can compete. So, there's a lot of, you're right, we've gotten better probably.
When you get to that point too, then there's also bringing in the lender if there's going to be a loan involved, and making sure that they can qualify and do what's needed if it's over. The other challenge is if the appraisal doesn't meet the purchase price, can the loan still work? So
right.
there's that as well.